Yes. All right. So we can start this session, which has multiple objectives. I hope we can achieve all of them today. One of the first objectives is to start introducing our members to the new European Bauhaus. I don't know if everybody is familiar with that. It's an initiative that has started a year or 2 years ago, and that I think we're gonna find very, very relevant for ECOLISE and its members. So it's good that the vocabulary starts being shared, and that the knowledge around this initiative getting spread. So it's like very light introduction, and we'll go, I think, over the year a bit deeper. Then there's actually a call that we're going to share and try to brainstorm of initiative. The deadline is quite tight. That's why I come also with a pre-proposal that's waiting for to find resonance, and then maybe opening the space to what's next, because this kind of meeting initiatives to talk about opportunities, collaboration opportunities within ECOLISE, within the members. I'm very keen to develop that. And this is also an experiment to see who also is interested, who has the time, the resources to engage and try to design initiatives together. All right. All right. So before that, just as a threshold, who has heard of the new European Bauhaus before? 3, 4, 5 out of 5, 5 out of 10. This is 50% correctly. And who feels confident enough that they can explain what it is to the rest of the audience? All right. As you have witnessed, I have not raised my hand either. All right. I will start with a beautiful quote from the President of the European Commission. If the European Green Deal has a soul, then it is the new European Bauhaus. And how I translate it is, there is this huge plan to bring transition to the European Union, and how to give it shape, how to bring it to life, and how to bring it closer to EU citizen is through the new European Bauhaus. And this is the idea to imagine the future, build the future, and guide a policy that's made at a very, very high level, but enabling to land directly. With 3 main values, which I think are going to really inspire and fit ECOLISE. First, enriching, inspired by art and culture. So with that line, they really want to go beyond only technicalities, technical solutions, or they want to include, they want to go a bit beyond, bridging them together, but going beyond what the EU knows already what to do. Making the sustainable as a clear pillar, so that goes very much in line with our objectives. And finally, to be inclusive, to encourage dialogue, participation, co-ownership, because otherwise things work better when we bring co-creation and equal participation. So basically, if without going deeper what it is, it's a way to enable EU strategy, and to make it more concrete and achievable. I have said that exactly. So bridging the world of science and technology with art and culture that hasn't been that much present. The green pillar, and something that is coming up a bit more often is we are having a complex societal problem, and we have to co-create to bring a change. So yeah. Any questions up to there? All right. Again, I wanted to just give a short introduction on what it is, because it's gonna grow very, very wide. The focus today is more on the call, and hopefully if there is interest for later. Let's go into the call. Co-creation of public space through citizen engagement. That sounds like something we quite do, I think. So the idea through this call is to bring transformational solutions into urban area, rural area, peri-urban areas. It aims at bringing closer to nature, but also trying to co-design, create space of discussion, of co-participation to bring those design into the locality, be it a city or be it a rural area. And there has been also a strong focus around communities involvement. As long as there is communities that are championing this initiative, championing this dialogue, and bringing into the public space participants together. And finally, it is across sustainability. So here they put a bit circular economy into focus, but it's not only that. The focus is very much into sustainability, be it towards nature, but also into the social aspect of sustainability. So it is quite wide. It is quite wide. One of the key constraints is this project, this initiative has to be partnered with a city or an affiliate to a city, because the argument behind that is, if a city or an affiliate is a partner of this project, it will have higher chances of going beyond this project. This project would be only for 6 months, from 1st of July until end of December. And if there is a city that is a partner that is interested into having this project as a seed funding, then there is a higher chance, according to the commission, that it would ripple out and continue in 2023 or a bit beyond. So that's why it is a requirement that we have that kind of partner within, and of course third parties that can be lead. A city does not have to be a lead, but we have to have a city in it. Yep. And we've talked so creation of a public space with citizenship engagement connected with a city or similar, and that addresses one of those objectives: reconnecting with nature, regaining a sense of community and belonging. And I'm smiling because only with these two strategic objectives, that's really in line with what we'd like to bring. Prioritizing the places and the people that need the most, because it's going to be with engagement of local citizens. At least we can ensure that their priorities are voiced and taken into account. And finally, the need for long-term life cycle and integrating thinking in industrial ecosystem. This one, it depends on what is designed. At least for the first part of the strategy, I think this is something we can really fit. Yes, I'm gonna pause for now because then there's a lot of technical info. Asking if there is any question or any remark. Also, if you've heard of it before and you would like to bring complementary information to what I already presented, feel free. Yes, Ad?
Yeah, I had a question. Is it also possible to connect with a province instead of a city?
I think the proposal or the outline explicitly mentions rural, peri-urban and urban areas. So it is, I think, all three dimensions. And that I had the same question. If there is the opposite way to create a public space that would work in a rural area to connect us not only to nature, but also to the world.
Thank you. It's wonderful when somebody else has also the answers. And yes, I have focused a bit more on city, but it's cities, region, rural areas. But there has to be a legal entity that we can affiliate to. Yeah. Yes, Sarah. I saw your hand, Leopold. You're the next one.
You just responded to my question. So it's always, even if it's rural, it's always a municipality that we need to contact, for example.
Yes.
Not because we can partner with a local parish, for example, but it would be always through the municipality of that parish.
Yes, so that is why there is this mention of an affiliated organization that has a legal tie. So it doesn't have to be the municipality, but if the municipality has a stake in that and is a stakeholder in that organization, in that initiative, then it fits. Then it totally fits. Leopold, you had a question, and then Mikey?
Yeah, my question is there money left for the Green New Deal and the new European Bauhaus? Because it seems that the European Commission decided to spend all our money for weapons.
I do not have that answer. I wonder if anybody has it. I see a lot of... but Leopold, just to dive into your question, do you have an answer yourself? It sounded rhetorical.
No, I don't have any answer.
Okay. Maaike?
Yes, two topics. I know about my cooperation with the municipality and the province that they don't want to be partner often, but that they want that I can say in my proposals that we really cooperate with them and what we cooperate with them. So that's an answer maybe about what entity can be involved. And I was wondering, what do they mean with industrial ecosystem?
I'm gonna buy myself some time and look for the answer while I give the floor to Anna's question.
You might get into this later, Abdul, because I read the call, but I didn't read like the specifics of kind of, consortia, deadlines, types of projects and stuff like that. So I have a lot of questions around that. Like you mentioned, 6 months. Is that like the next part of kind of, yeah, super. So I'll just hold my curiosity until then.
Okay, Maaike, I keep your question in mind, but I do not have the answer right now. Okay, just to mention that we don't have to address all of the themes, at least one of them. So this fifth one about integrating thinking and industrial ecosystem, yeah, it's not. I didn't dive into it because I didn't think of any member that would be in that space. But I'm sure at least the first three we can very much be aligned. No problem. If we go into the specifics in terms of outcomes, what is expected, what we need to design, either product of services. They are talking a lot about services or prototypes that we can try out and seed fund their development. Co-design and stewardship of green spaces, or co-design of public realms or commons, which I think would be also quite fitting. And finally, social activation and educational activities. So activity that will engage, that would take place beyond that project. So they would be built, they would be initiated, ideally piloted, and then continue beyond the project. And that's again why being linked with a public authority, city, region is key to ensure that it can last. It can last beyond the project. They are part of it. Yeah. Yes, Leopold.
Yeah, there's a lot of talking about co-creation and co-design since years, but I don't see it happen anywhere. So what are the ideas how it could work?
In 2 slides, let's get into that in 2 slides, because I have a proposal. Maaike had also some ideas to pitch, and maybe others. We can come to that. So into the criterias. Well, first of all, what are we competing for? For a grant of 45,000 for the 6 months of the project. So it's quite okay, I would say, to launch something. It's going to be quite challenging because only 6 will be funded. they are open to fund 2 more if the application are relevant or of good quality. And I was at the launching webinar. It was intense. We were at least 40 or 50 project holders. So just to let you know that there will be quite intense competition here. It's not a low-hanging fruit in terms of competition. Yeah. So it will be until from 1st of July until 31st of December. Intermediate report, final report, and this is what I explained about the requirements. I think the main requirement is this first one. It's a public no, not this first one. This one. One of these partners must be a region, a city, or an affiliated entity to one of them. And for the rest, we can dive into it, but I think whatever we design, we're quite fit based on what ECOLISE do, based on what the members do. I'm not concerned. Like I'm actually very confident, very confident about that. And then, so the call ends in 20 days to design that, and would get the results around mid-June if it's successful or not. So quite tight deadline for 20 days. So we'll see. And they had shared one successful for inspiration. They have shared it. It's not to be taken, but something that would have been eligible. For instance, we have been this project that was in Turin. I think it was Turin. Yes, Torino. Yes, where they have co-designed or redeveloped part of their university. So university attached with a public entity, and yeah, redesigning part of the infrastructure, having including sustainability, aesthetic, and inclusion into that. So that would have been something eligible with a bit wider. As an example, that out of all the examples they gave, this was the only one I thought would speak out of us. The rest was more prototyping or piloting some initiatives. New pause. Any question around the requirements or the technical requirements to there? I have voluntarily simplified them because there are a lot of requirements, but I think we would fit them. So we can investigate them when we start if we start the design. No need to get there at this point. Yes, Sarah.
Now we are here. Do they value like international cooperation or not really? It's just something very local.
I didn't understand the beginning of your question.
Does the call value international cooperation, or it's really very much about local activity?
Yeah, so that question was asked. There is no constraint. It's it is valued, but not a specific requirement. It could have been in the same country, same 100% partnership. It could have been possible, and as well it could have been something from one country that has been successful trying to implement in another one. These 2-3 examples have been made, and yeah.
Thank you.
I saw another hand, but I forgot who. Maybe I didn't.
Well, what do they expect in 6 months to happen? That's maybe a crucial question. What kind of concreteness and elaboration do they expect? It could be an idea, a sketch. It could be a detailed planning process. It could even be a realization. So what they expect? Okay,
so what they really expect is a focus on the process. So the name is about creating a participatory space, so that there is on the length of those 6 months, there have been spaces that have been created, welcoming citizens to contribute to the question that we submit. And this question has to be tied with sustainability, inclusion, and aesthetic, as it said. But the thing that we need to deliver specifically is engagement, citizen engagement around these topics. And if we have the time, already translating them into action, already translating them into concrétisation, tangible achievements, the means, it's all about the means that we have created space for engagement. Yes, Duncan.
Hey, Abdul. Sorry, a little bit late, caught up a train. Just asking if, and you might have covered it earlier on, I could have missed it. If there's projects that are already existing with a small amount of funding, but they're looking to reach out and already trying to make these sort of projects in their local areas, is there means that they can apply also because they're already part of some sort of funding grouping?
I didn't understand.
So I'm wondering if groups already have a small bit of funding. I'm speaking here specifically for the Urbana project, which was an ECOLISE project working on these issues, because the second stage has just started last week. And we're connecting with different groups that are like translocally 9 different cities around Europe, but they're already engaged in these sort of processes. And some of them are municipalities, whereas others are informal social movements without any legal form or whatever. But we're trying to work together with those groups, and we've got a small bit of funding to support them for the next year. But I'm wondering, could this, and there's a wider circle of community practice which don't have funding but are looking to get support. Is there some way that we could, even though it's already within a funding body of sorts, can they apply, or could part of that kind of ecosystem apply for this funding, or try to develop part of its exploration under this kind of model and seek the funding to do that? So
because I quite know Urbana, I highly recommend that it's done. I have reached out to both of you and Lucia to investigate that, because I think it fits quite well for Urbana, not for the whole consortium, because it's for instance limited to 4 partners. So you would have to do a sub team, but that's actually quite an advantage. You need a sub team that will dedicate that and go with that seed funding and investigate a topic that you have taken. You would have to justify that it is not double funded, so that it's really, but I think it's an advantage, explaining that it comes from already a 3-4 years project that is continuing beyond its end date, and this is the one to investigate. Urbana, out of the project, I think Urbana is one of the most fit, so I highly recommend you investigate that, or we work around that.
Okay, well, I've shared that with the new community practice, which are still only getting to know each other. But that's really good news for the wider group that didn't get the funding but really want to keep engaged. So I'll pass that on as best I can.
Nice. I will send you, if they weren't here at the webinar, I will send you all the slide deck so that they can investigate a bit more. Yes, Maike?
Yeah, so Nenad and me, we are talking about to create a Libertera in Croatia. So it's developed in the Netherlands already. It's and we want to look at the concept and what's fitting in Croatia. That fits? Such kind of collaboration?
What is Libertaria?
Libertera is my eco community where we help to create communities by global goals and entrepreneurship.
I think it would fit.
I don't think it would fit because the plot of land we have here is private, not public.
But Nenad, if you manage to tie it with an urban development, or can you tie it with the public entity?
Well, we can definitely tie it with the nearest town and the mayor. But not by 29th of May.
And but not in 3 weeks, yeah.
And another question, can you make it participatory? Because if
it's participatory by default, no worries about that. So we are involving neighbors, we are involving settlers. We are involving permaculture designers and also architects and local authorities. So it will be participatory.
Okay, so your main concern is in 3 weeks getting a formal partnership.
Next year, maybe.
Good to know. Good to know. Why? All right. Any other remarks? Any other questions? Yes, Sarah.
I have a general question about the MEB, and which is how can we know about this with more time in advance? Do we know the future plans for similar or not so similar possibilities for funding around the because I find it very, very interesting, the concept of the Bauhaus, but it would be really good to plan with more time, because especially if it involves municipalities and things like that, so it's better to have more time. So the question is, do you know future plans, future dates?
Yes, so it's true. Like this deadline actually has been really tight. It has been announced 30th of March. The webinar to present it was done 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So like it has been, yeah, it's basically 2 months between the announcement and so it is very short. I'm a bit surprised. I am a bit surprised. Where to get all the news? I will share here the link. Yes, where generally you can find the latest news, and this is actually the website of the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, which is the one leading this initiative. And this is by getting the newsletter. This is where you can get this news. This is where I get it actually. Plenty of beautiful content. Not everything is fitting, but maybe maybe out of curiosity and knowledge. And it is going to become more and more active. There are other calls for later, which I didn't bring up, but you could find that. You could find. And hopefully we'll include that more in our newsletter, Sarah, as well. I will try. Any other question for now?
I want to check. We are building up an expertise center in the moment to share all what we learned about cooperation with municipalities and provinces and landowners and so on. Can you imagine such an expertise center can fit in? And to share the knowledge in Europe. That's the idea, to exchange possibilities and cooperate so that there will be a chain of eco-villages cooperating in a topic.
So under your control, I think this would fit very much the first one, because this would be almost a service. What you're trying to design is a service of a process that can be replicated elsewhere. And the way to frame it within this fund is if you have a first pilot. So you have done it, it's successful. As you mentioned, what you want to do in Croatia, actually, I think it fits quite well. You have another place, another body that wants to experience the same, leveraging your knowledge, and you'll formalize the process, the guides, guidebooks, maybe a training, and this would be the end product, a pilot and some deliverables.
Yeah, what's always different is that the laws in every country are different. So that can be not so easy, but the idea of how to develop and to create it with the region, together with the region, I think that's really a process that you are talking about area development instead of location development.
I agree. I totally agree. That's why, yeah, what you mentioned also about for Croatia, it's a shame that you couldn't get a partnership on time, because I think it would really fit. I think it would really fit. How it would be worth asking if you're if you know how long it would get to get this partnership, maybe not 3 weeks, but if it's a month or 2, and still requesting. So the project will be designed, but there is a whole timeline of process that is very short. Even if we started on the 30th of March, it would have been enough. Would you consider that? So does that make sense, Mike and Leonard, what I'm saying? If you expect that maybe in June, this partnership could be achieved, that would be worth applying under the condition that this partnership is concluded on time. Because it's really short.
So you are suggesting that we hack it, that we apply nevertheless, and then see.
With an open discussion, there's actually a mailbox that we can literally ask. So here is our project. We're tied with this legal body, but it's too short to get their partnership signed because of delays. You know, there's internal processes, governance, and going there. And if they say no, then at least you tried.
Or to use the project to design. Or is that not possible? Because it's only half a year, and the idea is to get on when, because in the start we always need some money and nobody will fund it. So I can imagine that this kind of building up partnership can be interesting, but I don't know if it fits.
It needs, this is like the criteria. The partnership needs to have a city, a region, or an affiliated entity to that. It has to be. It's we cannot go around this one, but we can literally say that we are in discussion, and it's just a matter of time and processes. Because hey guys, you announced it 30th of March. It's impossible in 2 months to get a municipality to sign something. Like, so I
do think, sorry, I have my hand up. Is it okay if I speak? So I do think, Mika, that's not such a bad idea. If we think about having the partnership in place, that's one thing. And then that's how I hear you. Like, we have a partnership, let's take this 6 months to like pilot something with the idea that it can then be scaled, or, you know, something. So that is like, it has a kind of design element in those 6 months, and maybe like the stakeholder engagement in that design is the citizen engagement of the process, or that the project looks for, or something like that. I could imagine like a tweak like that. I also heard and saw from the example then, like if a public entity, it's any public entity, or like it has to be like at the municipal level or like that, because for an example, the University of Torino, that's a public university, right? So is a university that counts if it's public as a public entity. That's like way easier because we already have a lot of partnerships existing, for an example, with universities. So I'm just wondering, like, a bit there, like what counts as a public entity? Can it be a museum, like as long as it's in the public sphere? Yes. So that's one question. I also have a hard time understanding the relationship between like the international and the local in this. It sounds to me at first glance as they are looking for like 6 local projects. Like it's like 6 interventions in 6 different, like, you know, 1 in each country. And it's quite like a small intervention. It does not sound to me like it's kind of a international collaboration focus, or I mean, I know you mentioned it, like also Nikki raised it, but I find that hard to understand so far. Like, is this like a one city, one kind of mission thing, or does it lend itself to something like, for example, an ECOLISE based collaboration in partnering?
Yes. So I will answer the second one first. You're totally right. It is not on the scale of international partnership cooperation. No, it's more seed funding. Think about it, really seed funding. We have 6 months to try out, design a prototype, and deliver it. So it's quite local. There's no need to bring, and plus it's limited to 4 partners. So by design, it cannot be that big. And then for your first question, you're totally right. Maybe I focus a bit too much on the cities. It can also be an organization that is affiliated with a public body. So university is affiliated with a public entity. As long as as long as the locality has a stake in it, is a stakeholder in it, has an. So universities, museum. What other examples could we get? Maybe Nicola could help me. You know?
Recreation areas.
Recreation areas. Yeah, there is plenty. There is plenty. Libraries could be ones, definitely. Yes.
Train stations.
Train stations, swimming pools, kindergartens. Yes, that are affiliated, that we can really justify that there is. Does that clarification unlocks ideas for around our table? Yes, Nicola.
Maybe this was obvious, but not obvious to me. So it feels like this, you're educating us about an opportunity that we could now suggest to the members in our networks, you know, because it's for them to go, oh yeah, we've got just the project in our location. We already have the partners. Let's give it a go. It's not that you're dreaming up an ECOLISE joint project here. This is to inform our members.
No, ideally not. I think if we had 2 more months, I would have been ambitious enough. But in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, no. For instance, one of the projects I wanted to share, for instance, is that's a good question. One of the idea was every year in September we do the European Days of Sustainable Communities in Brussels. This is where we do the policy week and the event. Well, actually, why not also do it in a twin city? If there would be another location, city, region, or municipality that would like to become partner, and then it's a beautiful story where we try to get out the policy making and advocacy out of Brussels and in another EU city. There would be duplexes, there would be the same amount of interaction, and yeah, public space, citizen engagement, tying them with policymakers. You have the policymakers in Brussels, but you have the citizen elsewhere. This is a project ECOLISE does already. It's a low-hanging fruit. We would need this local partner that would be interested to do that, and we bring our full expertise and so. But that's what we're looking for. Yeah, open expression, like this is literally what I am looking for to launch it on the name of ECOLISE.
And it's very sustainable when people don't have to travel to Brussels, but can stay in Eastern Europe or something.
Exactly. And
I like the idea.
And Nicola, I really advise, I think, for Transition Network, a lot of the initiatives that are going to come from the NEV are going to fit you like almost very easily, because from what I've seen, from what has been done for last year, I think it's going to fit quite well. So worth following the newsletter or being part of it. I think it's going to really be a good advantage for Transition Network. Yes, Anna?
So this call came to my attention from Christian, actually, who pointed out that the British Council had sent out an email looking for consortia and partners to like apply. And that makes me think, in the context of this, that it might be good to phone up whatever entity it is in your country that's like has to do with this, just to check, is there like, you know, 50 different initiatives looking to apply, or is there 2? Does something sound, you know, there's just as a little thought. Because they had like they have a page out, we can find it again, just like this initiative is there, and we're kind of looking for interested people who can leverage this.
Thank you. That's wonderful. I'm also surprised that Britain is still part.
Yeah, luckily we are, as Christian also told me, because I was sure we were out of everything, but we're not. We're still in Horizon, not in Erasmus, but in Horizon Europe.
Thank you. And for those who don't know, welcoming also Christian, who is the new funder. What's your title at Gen International? What is your title?
Oh, I don't believe in titles, more in roles. So it's fundraising lead. Yes.
Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for doing all this work. And because I know that those European funding programs can be complicating, and thank you for making it very clear.
Very welcome. Very welcome. And following Anna's question about how complicated the application is, it doesn't look that complicated. It's a 12-page, almost of a proof of concept level. So it's not that complicated.
Sorry, to win. Yeah, applying it's easy, but also we want to be successful, and there's a high competition, and yeah. So who in the circle here right now has experiences besides Anna for successful applications within the European funding ecosystem? Oh, excellent. Okay, great.
This is one of the right circles.
Yeah, it's good to know who's working on it. So it's good to share good practices. Thanks.
You're very welcome. So, Leopold, so your question, what exactly is meant by co-creation? Is it only finding partners? No, it's more, we're going to open spaces for discussion and collaboration. So there will be the consortium, the legal entity, the local entity, and the partners, inviting citizens to engage, to contribute, and that's what it means by co-creation. So it's not it's not only experts, technicians, engineers, designers. No, there is also a call for feedback and input from citizens. That's mainly it. I think we can close this point now. I have shared with you a lot of knowledge there. I haven't detected any potential consortium building here. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think we have what is needed here to apply, unfortunately. But even if we don't apply between ourselves, now with the clarification that we've had about who can you partner with, museum, universities, library, maybe within your own organization, you could, yeah, I hope there's a potential. And if you would go that route and you need support, feel free to reach out to me. I have read this call, I have been at the webinar. I can also just share you the links, but I'd be happy to support that. Maybe it could bring a bit of relief knowing that it's in 3 weeks, but you can have a bit of support from ECOLISE side. I'd be very happy to do that, and not only me. Yeah, and hope we can do better for the next calls. Yes, Duncan.
Just in the next few days, if people are interested in trying to develop something, how's the best way for us to keep in contact? like, is there a space where we can continue discussing this, like on the CFF platform or email, or has
Exactly.
it been explored?
Thank you for the transition. That was the next steps that I wanted to mention. So this meeting has been a tryout, actually second tryout, because earlier this year, Sarah has facilitated a long process to apply for a funding for a self call, which went very well until fruition, until application. And I had in my mind to start this funding or collaboration circle for people that are interested, either to work under the umbrella of ECOLISE or between members, or just sharing good opportunities. So that's what I would like to start. And for now, to keep it simple, no platform, just a mailing list that anybody can drop in or drop out. It's just going to be called Collaboration at ECOLISE. When there is an opportunity, we can forward it to each other and just out of information, just simple way for now. And when there is a need for us to meet and to talk and to share that knowledge, then we try to schedule that and meet all of us. And if in a few months things need to evolve and we need to have more routines, monthly meeting, etc., then we'll set it up. I hope we'll get there, but I don't want to overwhelm anybody for now. So how does that sound? Mailing list where I add each and every one of you. You're all free to drop in, drop out and add anyone, and to share the content that you feel fit.
So clarifying question, you are talking about discussion list, not distribution list.
Yes, discussion list, meaning anyone can reach out, share an opportunity, and anybody can reply. Just discussion. Yes. Do I have the consent of everybody to add you on your list? Wonderful. No, Nenad. No worries. No worries. If you have a better suggestion for the future, let me know. My main constraint is I don't want to create a huge structure before seeing if it brings value. So I promise you it will bring value, and soon we'll go to the next level and maybe create a community of practice around collaboration. That would be the dream. Okay, it's 51. We can end earlier. I wonder if there is anything that anybody wants to share, another idea before we check out. All right. So I invite for a round of checkout. Whoever wants to start, and you can pass it on.
Thank you, Abdul, for hosting this. We should do this more often. Over to Mika.
Yeah, thank you for organizing. It's very inspiring to exchange experiences together. Yeah, it brings me on other ideas as well.
Yeah, I'd also like to thank you and everyone for contributing. And I also found it very inspiring, and I hope this brings me new ideas. Nicola?
Yeah, thank you very much, Abdul. I'll share this around the transition network, although I fear the call is so bewilderingly general, you know, like so many things could fit and they're only looking for 6. And of course there's not much time, but you know, it's maybe a chance for some. So thanks, Abdul. I'll pass to Anna.
Thanks. I really appreciate the kind of pre-digestion you did, Abdul. That makes it really efficient for us if, you know, one of us does that work and then transmits it to others. So that's really helpful. Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to see all of you. I haven't been in ECOLISE space for a while, and it's just good to see you. I will pass to Leopold.
Yeah, thank you for the organization. I think everything has been said.
Who do you pass it on, Leopold?
To Franz.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was a wonderful format, and I would like to receive information. I'm not sure if I was even registered to participate today, but I will put my email address in the chat. Okay, thank you. And I pass to Sarah, if she was already.
No, thank you, Franz. Thank you very much for this initiative, very inspiring on different levels. And I'm very happy with the beginning of this mailing list. Let's see how it evolves. I'll pass it on to Christian.
Thank you very much. I was typing my email. Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity and that you're working on a new Bauhaus initiative. That's amazing. At the same time, it's very nice for me to be in this circle. It's very international, meet people from the Netherlands, from Austria. And thank you, Anna, for inviting me and for sharing the invitation with me. Yeah, I give to Duncan, I don't know.
Yeah, it's different. Duncan is what I'd say, but we have a strange accent in Dublin. Yeah, really great to connect with people here and to see that these sort of things exist. And I think hopefully we can start to get a bit better at calling in our crews and our networks and showing people that there's resources there to affect a change. So this is really hopefully the spark of something and show us where we need to go. And lovely to see that it's there. And I'm still going to reach out as best I can. So I'm hoping that something has come from it and will come from it. And thanks very much, Abdul. And I'll pass to Paulina.
Hi and bye, everyone. I jumped in at the very end just to see all these beautiful faces on the screen, to enjoy a bit the energy of the session on behalf of the ECOLISE team. So yeah, thanks for being here. I'm not sure if Nenad checked out.
Yes, he started, and it is me left. Thank you very much for joining. It feels very good. I enjoy doing this work if I can also share it and transmit it after. So for me, it's a mission accomplished. I leave you also with a tiny link of the thing I did at the beginning. It's called Fun Retrospective. They have plenty of other links. Or other tiny exercises that you can do to bring a bit of dynamism into online meetings. I highly recommend, and it's easy, it's free, it's simple. Wish you a good day, and we're finishing in advance. Thank you all for the emails. Thank you all for your presence, and see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.